And if we leave this virus to spread uncontrollably in our country, it will be this man here, the president of this country, who will shoulder the blame for not taking the lead.
Point of procedure,
Mr. Speaker, I think we owe it to the nation to at least say, as this debate continues, where are the agreements? Where do the two sides of the House agree? And where do we disagree? Otherwise, we are going to mislead the nation. An impression is being created that we are against bailout, we are against restricting movement, as Honorable Mola is saying. We've said it very clearly, we support those. Radi support. 6 months. So now we want this debate to continue such that, even as we disagree, the nation knows where we agree. It's important for the fight against corona. But you are either with us or against us. That can't be right. And we will mislead the nation.
Mr. Speaker, I am entitled to my opinion, and in my considered view, they have already, through the leadership of the leader of opposition, already sent the message to the nation that we are not in agreement, that we are here to want to loot the country, which is wrong. It is a wrong impression that we are giving people out there. And I want to state it for the record. Mr. Speaker, as I have already said, I am a libertarian by conviction. And as I already said, I like my freedoms of choice, of association, but we are in a crisis. Our country is facing a calamity of unimaginable proportions. We must be bold and take drastic decisions. Take these drastic decisions now, not tomorrow, now, so that we may enjoy our tomorrow. And as I already said, I don't like this lockdown. No, I don't like it one bit. But I must go through it. The nation of Botswana must go through it so that we defeat this enemy. I have to forego all these entitlements, all these freedoms for the proposed time, so that we may face this vicious enemy and defeat it and return our country and our lives to normalcy. It has been stated clearly that the lockdown will go for 28 days. And if, after 28 days, the team leading the fight, the team of professionals leading this fight, so determined that it may be prudent to ease this lockdown, they will so advise. Ke sone se ba tswana ntse ba se itse gore morago ga 28 days ha ba botsogo ba eteletseng twaye ba seka ba bona gore tsamao ya mogare jaanong o ka leta gore go ka thogatswa lockdown ye ba tla tlhalosa ba letelela bo mmaseapei gongwe ba letelela ba rekisang di-airtime ba letelela ba go boela mo matshelong a bone.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order, sir. Point of order that Honorable Malawi is changing the language willy-nilly without even requesting from you. He's speaking Setswana, English, Fanagalo, everything.
Continue, Malawi.
Mr. Speaker, I will ignore. It does not even come to my mind one bit that this state of emergency is being sought in bad faith as it is being alleged. And it is intended to be abused, either for looting, for corruption or fixing some people, it is being alleged from across the aisle. It is disingenuous for them to impute improper motives on His Excellency. It is disingenuous, and we cannot allow that to pass. I have complete trust, Mr. Speaker, in this government. Moreover, I have complete trust on His Excellency to deliver on the promise of this state of public emergency. Nothing else but to fight COVID-19, and I give him my full trust. Botswana should rest assured that their country is in good hands. His Excellency has even assured us that should the virus be cleared fast enough, this state of emergency will come back and seek to lift it even before the 6 months. It is better to start there so that we work towards going to the 6 months, and if we achieve taking control of this virus before the 6 months, we can come back to this house and lift this state of emergency. We must plan ahead. We must plan ahead. As leaders of this nation, we must rally our people behind the fight against this virus. We are losing the central message. The language has changed.
Clarification, sir. Clarification.
Mr. Speaker.
Clarification. I want to thank. Clarification, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir.
Na ke ne go tore wa khola thata ibile lo rena ra mo khola re pono mo athudi me ora gore molaetsa wa gagwe a yo go thamalatsa sente ya no ka gore wa utwa gore go khonwe bolwetsi jo ke ha go dirwa jang.
Your Honor, re mo atludi ke mogollo ke mototang thata.
Clarification.
Me tsatsi jeno ka boammaaruri mogolole ga ke a utlwa a gatelela molaetsa ona a o gatelela ka letsatsi la neng a le kotono ta ka speaker. That is where I'm left confused. Tsatsi jeno go rileng.
Oh, thank you for clarification. Hey. Ke a leboga motlotege motsamaisa dipuisano tsa palamente morana wa me. Motlotege mo palamente ra itshotona wa tsa thuto le phata le ke le ratang thata thuto e ke lelang ha bana ba sa sekoleng ja ke go utule ngwana bomma itso motlotege mo palamente wa Mathangwane West Shashe West ke go utule gore ga gona kana wa re mo re go dirwa bit by bit. E buile samsele ja ne ke re ke go gakollela gore ha re bua kwa kgaolong ya gago re tisha ko dwa pasisila o ntse o itatola gore ga go
a ke itse gore rankamo kana go tisha ko dwa pasisila go toa gore o simolola lebelo ga go gore o taboga o ema o toa gore o simolola lebelo ka iketo bo tsholetsa mosepele o ntse o ya ga go toe gore taboga o eme o boe gape gore o taboga o eme o boe gape o taboga o eme. This is what is being said. Mr. Speaker.
Clarification. Yeah, again, clarification. I'm going
gongwe Batswana le bone ba utlwe gore lona mo lephateng la lona la thuto le batsholetsi iska ba re ba tswa ha ba go ba timetsa a gore bone ba reka nako gore Batswana ba ska ba utlwa se kurumenta se batsholetsi o hitela ka ntha tse pedi tsa thuto gore o batsholetsing ebile o itse gore bana ba sokola go le kae.
Mr. Speaker, the reason why I am dead serious about taking drastic measures to arrest this virus now is because the portfolio responsibility that I've been given as the Minister of Basic Education, I really shudder to imagine what will happen to our education system. Because we closed the schools on the 23rd of March, instead of our normal intended closure of 8th April. We would have been closing today. This means we have lost 13 days already. And this is what will happen. If we don't arrest this virus now, and we go upwards of 60 days, without resuming, practically it means we have lost the whole year of education.
What the member for Parliament said, don't do Farakalo. Stick to Botswana, which you started with.
Mr. Speaker, kya leboga. Mine ke simolotse ka sekgowa ne ke ta ke illustrate la ka Setswana gore bora mogapi ba te ba ut. I will let me continue with English. That I'm saying, if we lose upwards of 60 days, it means we have lost the whole year of schooling. And it means we will not have Standard 7s transitioning to Form 1. We will not have Form 3s transitioning to Form 4. We will not have Form 5 transitioning to tertiary education. It means that tertiary education, they will not have first years. And this will be a disaster, and this is a disaster that we must avert. We must avert it. That is why I support the drastic measures that we are taking. Mr. Speaker, we must be firm and have resolve to give this president all the levers of power to lead from the front, as I've already said, in fighting this marauding and invincible enemy. We must be tough in our resolve. We must be iron like a lion in Zion. This is not the time to play politics that I see members playing here and play to the gallery. It is a thing called war.
Clarification, Mr. Speaker.
The president must lead from the front. Big countries, Mr. Speaker, big economies have been brought to their knees as we speak.
Clarification.
What will become of us? A small nation, poor nation like Botswana, if we start playing games? We will be decimated. Our population will be decimated, will be annihilated. We will never recover. And history will judge this president harshly. And I don't want to be party to that. Mr. Speaker, like I've already said, if during the state of public emergency, I must state this for the record, if the president were to renege on the promise that he will use this state of emergency solely to fight for COVID and nothing else, Mr. Speaker, there will be only one choice left. And I shouldn't continue to say what choice it will be. But I believe and I trust this president will abide by the oath of office that he took. We will abide by the oath of office that we took. And we have been told by those learned in the statutes that this state of emergency is not absolute. It does not suspend the Constitution. We have heard it from the state attorneys. We have heard it from even private attorneys that this state of emergency sought is not absolute. It will not suspend the Constitution. It will not allow the president to do as he pleases. And I am convinced that what will happen. Denied. Therefore, I have no doubt in my mind, from what we were told by the experts yesterday, that it needs time, because this is a disease, this is a virus that has got no cure. It is not waiting for us. It is developing and changing with every minute. So we must be ahead of the curve. We must be ahead of the curve. And this is what we want to do as this government. Hence my firm support for His Excellency and
elucidation. Ke a leboga gore o mphile sebaka ke a itse gore ga ona nako ne ke re gongwe ke elucidate gore kana goga re na le ditshutiso tse pedi ano ka batho ba di tlhakatlhakane tshutiso ya ntlha ke itebagantseng le yone state of emergency re tlo tla mo tshutisong ya bobedi gongwe ka moso gongwe ka moso mongwe e buang ka gore yaanong re tlo go se tsamaisa ka tsela e ntseng jang mme gore se tlo se tsamaisa ka tsela e ntseng jang re go se go publish the gazette gore melawana ke e a ke le ba le gore le itse gore a le dumana le yone le gona la tlatsang ka teng ya ntlha ke state of emergency for 6 months ya bobedi gore le tlo go se tsamaisa jang mme gape ke go tlhalosa le gore boammaaruri ke gone gore ga gona sepe mo melawaneng e reng palamente e suspendile palamente ga nketse ebile ga go ke ga nna jang ka re ke yone e na le thata ya gore e tletse e revoke gape ga go sa tlhole se tlhokagala ne ke tlhalosa ya mo kauleng thank you
ke dumalana le wena tona be madao gore ke sone se e leng gore bakaolong ga ba bua ga ba tsene go go sone gore go na le lockdown mme re debate state of emergency ka moso mongwe re tabo re debate melawana e tautona kante yang e go yang go tsamaisiwa ka yone Botswana ba ba ko Shashe West Botswana la Hatselote ba tshwanetse ba tlhaloganye selo se gore lockdown e pharologanyo le state of the emergency ebile 28 days ha wela ha bongaka ba ka rurihatsa ba tlhalosa gore o ka re go botoka ba ta ntsha tshutiso kante kgakololo ya gore jaanong lo ka repisa batho ba simolola go ya mabenkeleng go ba simolola go ya masimong ba simolola go rekisa di airtime tsa bone mo mekgwatheng ba ya go apa ba rekisa jaaka ba ntse ba dira jaanong mo nakong ya gompieno ga ra tshwana go tshosetsa Batswana re ba ya go senyediwa puso ye e batla go sireletsa matshelo a Batswana le go sireletsa itsholelo ya lehatshele keletso ya me ke gore ke khone wa go tlhola batsadi ba me ko kgaolong mme gompieno ke tanama ke le mo gaborone ka gore lockdown ya re ke be ke le mo gaborone le bone ke ba kopa jalo go Shashe West gore salang ditaelo tsa ba botsogo morago tlhapang diata nna mo malapeng ka dinako tsotlhe re sireletse matshelo a lona. Mr. Speaker, I so submit.
Dr. Salang.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon. Antelina, take this time to say something on this coronavirus and the request for state of emergency to be stayed for 6 months. First, let me acknowledge that from the beginning, when this coronavirus set foot, we started very well. And people around the country were happy with what Dr. Kope is doing and the medical team as far as public education, and the management of this system of the virus or pandemic is concerned. But now we are here. Ka hore go na le motsenelela o sentseng what we have started very well. Mr. Speaker, before I go on again, I think I should just react to what Dr. Dow said about Japan, that Japan has instituted a state of emergency for 6 months. For 6 months. The information that I have is that Japan has only called for a state of emergency for 1 month. It's there, and I think it's in the internet. It's published.
Elucidation.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ne ke re e re ha o tlhalosa jalo o tlhalose gore gone ke ba marubile ka kganya teng ko ntle a ke re wa mpontsha ka go bolelela gore ke dumela le wena gore what has happened ko Japan, they are extending their response by a state of emergency for a month, bringing their total response to 5 months so far, because January. But I was wrong this morning when I said they extended by 6 months. No, they declared a state of emergency for 1 month. It ends on the 6th of May. We discussed that.
Yeah, we will count, but because it was said for a record, I needed it corrected. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to state what I understand from what the medical experts and the scientists were saying yesterday. My understanding about the lockdown, they told us clearly that this is an experimental scientific method that has been tried out to combat the coronavirus. Coronavirus is new, it's trial and error. First, you start with a lockdown for a limited period, like they said, 28 days. Then after 28 days, where you have limited movement, where you have located the virus, when you have isolated people who have the virus, treated them, and traced those who you want to trace in the population. That's the purpose of a lockdown. After a lockdown, there is a release period. It comes in cycles.
Procedure, Mr. Speaker.
Procedure.
Negre, Kongo ka thusa, Mr. Speaker. Kore nna ke ne ke re go ha o ka retetse mathata a mantšha ba botswana. Mme le gane le thata go ga mamosanyana ko sekgoeng. A makala ka ba utwa. A batswapong ba utwa. This is very bad for our nation because they cannot hear anything. A go re kopane ma parliamentary we Setswana. Phio kana re we Sesarwa sengwe hela.
Take your floor, please. Take your floor. I don't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm comfortable in English, and the standing orders allow that we speak English. The Constitution refused that this country, so I'll stick to what I'm comfortable with. I'm comfortable with Botswana, but for this debate, after the lockdown, there is what is called the release period, from what the professor was saying yesterday, which is what I understand also from science. The release period is meant to allow the population to interact with the virus and also allow to see if there are new infections or to allow to see if there are any changes that causes alarm so that we can put in the lockdown again, or you can continue with the release period for some time. If
elucidation.
Wait. Wait. You elucidate in your own platform. Once you realize that there is danger, then you can bring in the lockdown. If there is no danger and the population is adapting with the virus and there's lower infections, you now continue with the release period until the population has adapted to the virus and the immune system of the population is adapting to the virus. That is what I was understanding scientists to say. And these stages, these scientific cycles, they come in stages. You introduce a month, observe, you introduce release and observe, and then introduce another phase.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
It's out of order, VP.
Yeah, kana ne re teng rote e bile go no go buiwa go tlhaloso ya la read se sent. Se motote ga se buang. Ke bua maru se buile yalo, mme a ska toga go le ga ba direla puso. Do tseo e ne ile the options se le ka di tsaya. Ba be ba bua ba re mo go tse dingwe di option you let the virus to burn out. So how dira ba ba re nela ya ka those cases were moving up and down. Those were options. It was not that we have to do that.
Continue, remember.
Harna malao harna imo morta tsenya batho ba rona ya ka bua ya.
Kana, there's nothing out of order. I explained that now as a scientist, that is the science I understood.
Clarification.
So,
clarification.
No. Hey. So.
Clarification.
Mr. Speaker.
Who is asking for
clarification?
So, we are in a lockdown, in a phase that we are now trying to locate the virus, to see where the virus is, to treat it, to manage it, and to trace. So, the lockdown is
procedure.
And
nothing wrong with the procedure. We are wasting our time.
Mischief. And then there was a question put to the director that, in your view, in your understanding, do you think the Public Health Act is limiting, in your view, is limiting you? You can't institute a lockdown. And he said, yes, I'm limited. Well, it's subject to interpretation. He said, there are other things I can't do. Hence, we needed a state of emergency to enforce a lockdown. Logically, it means that state of emergency that is needed should be aligned to a lockdown. The lockdown that has been requested is 28 days. So the state of emergency must be aligned to the lockdown that has been requested by the Ministry of Health. When we move into the release period after lockdown, we are now releasing the population to move, to go towards normalcy. For example, if we reach that stage, we can say, back our advice or no, let the schools be open. Are we going to run the school car state of emergency? No. After the lockdown, the state of emergency must stop, and then we start a normal period where we can run either the schools or the clinics normal laws. That's why we need, we want to align the state of emergency to the lockdown. Mr. Speaker,
Clarification.
that's why we have a point of departure with our colleagues from the other side, that 6 months is too long. Let's do it in stages. If you need the state of emergency after the release period, we will support you. after the release period, if you need to reinstate another lockdown, we will support you. But the wholesale, there is no relationship with a 6-month state of emergency as opposed to a 28-day lockdown that is going to be followed by a
clarification.
The lockdown is sufficient.
Clarification.
Clarification.
Honorable Saban, because now you have you are a scientist, a chemist by profession, 3 degrees in chemistry. In the presentation, the health experts, did they present any empirical evidence to warrant 6 months lockdown? Or is there empirical evidence anywhere in the world to support 6 months state of emergency to fight COVID-19?
From what I've heard and from what I've read around and from what I understand, lockdown is normally 1 month or around that period so that you can observe and then move to another stage. Currently, the world around us, lockdown is around 1 month. It's only Botswana and Namibia that have seen state of emergency, that was 6 months.
That's what they are.
Namibia, yes, they.
Clarification, Mr. Tano. Clarification.
So, the empirical data that's available supports that lockdown should be 1 month or shorter period so that you have time to observe. So, state of emergency, from what I've heard, the experts saying they did not link this cycle to a state of emergency to be extended for 6 months. You see, what I've heard, state of emergency is a political decision. Lockdown system cycle is a scientific formula. Those are 2 different things. So I sit here with at pains, listening to people trying to mutilate science, trying to claim that they understood science. They did not. This is fraud. Mr. Speaker, there is the issue that is coming out clearly from our colleagues from the aisle that when this state of emergency is on, Parliament can sit. That is a question that we should not be cynical or we should not mislead the nation. When this state of emergency is in motion, Parliament will cease. We are at the mercy of the President to call Parliament to come and sit. So as Parliament, we want to be part of this fight against Corona. Why are we being dispersed? We want to be part of the struggle to fight Corona. And it's our duty to fight this Corona. Why do you want to remove us from this? We have constituencies that we represent. They ask us questions every day about this state of emergency, about this lockdown. We need to be answering them, having information from Parliament. So Parliament needs to be there for the next 6 months to provide oversight.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
To provide oversight.
Order, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member, I thank you. The honourable member is making an extraordinary statement. I would like him, it's important, Mr. Speaker, that, as I've always said, he must look into our statutes. He must look at section 17, subsection 4 of our Constitution. It gives Parliament the power at any time, even next week, to revoke whatever powers it would have given to the President. So this thing of the Parliament not having powers for the next 6 months, it must be corrected. Unless he can show us a provision in the Constitution contrary to what I'm saying. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I think the problem we have, Kafela, is that if you want to argue with Dr. Savang Kamulao, you are going to have a very difficult situation. Because he is putting forward his own understanding, which I'm sure if you have a chance to take the floor, you can deal with it and correct. It can't be out of order that I say something either because I don't completely understand it and therefore I'm mistaken. It can't be out of order to do that. I'm obviously mistaken, but it's not the same thing as being out of order. Dr. Savang.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Procedure, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Nekiri, tota kganye e tswa kgakala. Ba bangwe ba ntse ba re ha state of emergency se tsweletse Parlamente e ka tsena, ba bangwe ba re state of emergency se tsweletse Parlamente ga e ke a tsena. And nna ke tsaya gore re na le parliamentary council in the house, Mr. Speaker. Gore re se ke ra nna re tikana ka dikgang ba bangwe ba re nya e ka tsena, ba bangwe ba re ga e ke a tsena. Ne re ka rena le mmamela wa hano gongwe o ka re thusa gore ntwe e kgone go itse gore the correct position ke
in a way, you are right. To the extent that it's a legal issue, which really should be put to rest, so that people don't keep on arguing to and fro. I would ask Parliamentary Council to deal with it. But right now, I think let's finish, and first thing in the morning, Parliamentary Council will have a time to look at it, and we can put it to rest. I know myself what the actual legal position is, but I'm not your legal counsel. I'll then rule at the appointment time, but Marimu he nako utule khayaluna ere kamuso ate akanse alibedi timana tiehu yangatsoni ate ari hakul. I think that's in order.
Further procedure. Further procedure. No, further procedure, sir.
Further what?
Procedure.
Further procedure.
I wanted clarity, but I don't know on what point I should rise.
From who?
Yeah.
From who? You know the power. Shouldn't we deal definitively with this issue?
I agree, sir. But what I wanted to say, Honourable Speaker, is that just so that the Parliamentary Council understands her terms of reference, and because I was looking at her facial expression on whether she understands the terms of reference, and I wanted to add that just so that tomorrow it's clear that who is supposed to convene Parliament when he's on recess. It's a very important question on the terms of reference. Whether Parliament can sit during state of emergency and who will actually call that Parliament.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Mulutsi. That is the answer I was going to give to Honorable Kafela, that we have a Parliamentary Council who should take it off. Mr. Speaker, there's something that really worries me in where this 6-month state of emergency is being pushed through our throats. Corona is being used to threaten us, to bully us, to instill fear that we should not debate. That if you try to advise, you are unpatriotic. If you try to ask questions, you differ. It's like you have killed a person. This is Botswana, it's a democracy. We are entitled to rethalohanye. And differ if we don't, we don't want 6 months state of emergency. We're entitled to do that. So, Corona is to instill fear. You have installed the process. Never exploited the loopholes here and there. The problem came this monster called state of emergency for 6 months. Ever since we have been dispatched by Parliament to go to the constituencies, we assess the situation. Botswana fully understand this thing. It is dangerous. Even when the first initial stages of lockdown, Botswana were obeying this thing. How 50 funeral must be 50 or less, they were obeying it. How meetings should be less than 10, they were obeying it. How to wash your hands frequently, Botswana were observing these WHO protocols. No, we heard Dr. Kwape atalusa this thing. More radio, we heard Dr. Malap Kitsipaga explaining this thing. Yano hasinyaha only when the power-hungry system kicked in, instincts kicked in. This is where the problem is.
Clarification.
Totally UDC and myself, we are against entrusting so much powers in one person who's not justification. The medical experts, they've never linked this explanation, this science to 6 months. No. It can even more than 6 months. But the issue that we must understand, we must take this thing in cycles, step by step, understand the virus, allow the virus to be studied with the population. Population adapted to the virus with immunity until we fight this thing. But we see a power-hungry BDP, usual, trying to sneak in some law so that they can loot. Hariboni Sipehela is looting the coffers. Looting. You spend the whole night in the 11th Parliament.
Order, There's a bigger monster here called time. It's now 6 o'clock. But before I call upon the leader of the House to move a motion of adjournment, I want to deal with 2 matters. The first one is that Babungaka Bare Haru 30 minutes break.